If the Supreme Court political makeup was the opposite, what would Republicans do? I think it's not unfair to say that Republicans achieved their political aims more aggressively, and in recent years more successfully, than liberals. For instance, the investigations into Hunter Biden, which will be leading to impeachment inquiries. There was nothing of the sort, even though impropriety was suspected, for Ivanka Trump or Jared Kushner. So I wondered, perhaps in the context of Netanyahu seizing power from Israel's High Court, what would Republicans do in terms of political maneuvers, to weaken a Supreme Court that was perish the thought woke? If a Republican was in the position Obama was back in 2016 with the Garland nomination, Republicans would have shut down the government. There would have been a shutdown, and during it every Republican would have been giving interviews full of screaming at the top of their lungs that it was unconstitutional to filibuster a SCOTUS appointment. Pure Scotch earth. Absolutely nothing short of seating Garland would have ended the government shutdown, period. They would ignore SCOTUS rulings. Think every red state acting like Alabama, which is ignoring the order to redraw election maps because the maps Alabama was trying to use were incredibly racist. We used to have a liberal majority on the court. If the past tells us anything, they would have done nothing unless if they saw an opportunity like obstructing a nomination. I think J6 and how they blocked Obama from nominating Garland tells us exactly what the Republicans would do. Not much different, I suspect. It's not like they're showing any restraint now. They're always at an 11, maximum crisis mode. They might be more inclined to outright reject the law's validity. They'd pack the court as quickly as they could. They'd also impeach a justice for half of the things Thomas has done to try to flip the court. But the real answer is pack the courts and say we're allowed to. It doesn't matter if it's normal or not. The standard for all Republicans is it legal, not is it good or right. If Trump Jr. was in the trouble that Hunter is in, and Trump was president, he would have pardoned him before the investigation ever got rolling. This is the kind of thing they do. Right and wrong don't matter, and they can sell anything to their base. Some guy in a red hat would have straight up shot the Chief Justice by now. I'm not even joking. If they were willing to set off a coup, someone would be willing to assassinate. Why are Republicans called Republicans and the Democrats called liberals? Slanted much? The answer to the question is obvious: violence. Donald Trump very explicitly said that if Hillary Clinton was elected in 2016, that the Second Amendment people could do something about the judges she nominates. Anyone saying anything differently, like they just tried to outmaneuver the court, is living in a fantasy. The same thing they'd done for the last 40 years, during which the court was owned by Democrats. Choke on it and wait. It's remarkable how self-unaware Democrats are. The country has for the last several decades moved reliably leftward. Republicans win a few rounds and now we're on the precipice of fascism. Democrats should acquaint themselves with the concept of democratic civil society. You can't win all the time. You have to find a way to live with the opposition, not treat them as enemies to be stamped out. Refuse to redistrict in Alabama. Just like now. Those fucks are permanently obstinate. The Supreme Court is supposed to be conservative with no political affiliation. Standing on the principles our founding fathers set in place. Nothing. The only reason they relied on the Supreme Court currently is because of its makeup being slanted. If it was liberal, they would just make sure nothing important got there. Probably attack the Capitol again, thinking the Supreme Court meets in there.